Hello and welcome to Container Day. I'm Bob Wise, coming to you live from the suburbs near Seattle. I'm the GM for Kubernetes and app networking at AWS, and I represent AWS on the CNCF governing board. I've been coming to KubeCon since before there was a KubeCon, starting with the Kubernetes 1.0 launch at OSCON, and kicking off KubeCon week with Container Day has become one of my favorite things. We have a great day of content we've worked on hard for you. So let me get this kicked off and hand it off to the team. First, some housekeeping. Most sessions are pre-recorded, but we have a crack team of experts online to answer your questions. If you have a question that you'd rather ask by email, use AWS Container Day at Amazon.com. If you're attending KubeCon the rest of the week, please stop by our virtual booth for more deep discussions with our team. And I'm going to come back to the day's agenda at the end of my remarks. But let's get on to those remarks first. This is what gets us out of bed, drinking coffee every day. AWS and Kubernetes best together. We're working to give you the best possible Kubernetes experience on AWS, ensuring you get the upstream Kubernetes you love with AWS security, AWS scale, and access to the wide portfolio of AWS services. These are just some of the customers that motivate us every day. We learn from these customers. We direct our development and community contributions to help them solve hard problems. These customers also depend on the breadth of partners providing Kubernetes on AWS solutions. Here are a few, many of whom I'm sure you will see presentations from in the coming days at KubeCon. Here's a quick spotlight on customers using EKS who depend on the security, stability, cost savings, global reach of EKS and AWS. And note the breadth of different industries represented here. Customers are constantly giving us feedback and asking us to help them. And we consistently hear a number of things. We want to run Kubernetes our way. Customers tell us they want to run upstream unforked Kubernetes, keeping it secure, patched, and stable. This is the main mission with EKS. These are table stakes. Customers want us to allow them to customize the configuration so they can have control and make their own choices wherever possible. Some of our customers love EKS, obviously, but for others, they have a need for deep customization, or they build tooling they become familiar with and are just more comfortable with it. And we want to help all of these customers. So here's some examples. These are places we help customers on AWS beyond EKS. For example, we provide customers the way to build their own AMIs, and many do. You can use our Packer setup, or you can use it as detailed documentation to understand how we build the EKS AMI. Customers use the EKS AMIs with their self-managed clusters as well, or they can bring their own AMIs to run on EKS. We provide and contribute to drivers that are used by both EKS users and Kubernetes on AWS users. You can run EKS with our CNI driver or without it. We even document how. And there are some more documented alternatives coming. Mike has a session later this morning on EKS networking. EKS networking is a deep subject. Recommended session. I'm now pleased to announce one of the most requested features since Managed Node Groups launched last year at KubeCon. Managed Node customization, including launch templates and custom AMI support. Launch templates provide declarative instance configuration and customization for your EC2 instances and are now supported as part of Managed Node Group create and update configs. Custom AMIs are now supported, which can provide deeper configuration options, or when you otherwise need to specify your own AMI. And you should see this show up in the console over the course of the day. Attend Jesse's session if you want to dive deeper into Managed Node Groups. That said, this would be a good moment to review your data plane options with EKS. EKS provides fully managed 100% upstream Kubernetes control plane, moving that operational toil of running clusters from you to AWS. We can also remove the undifferentiated heavy lifting of the data plane with Managed Node Groups, as well as support for Fargate serverless containers. These options automate the provisioning and lifecycle management of EC2 instances for your Kubernetes clusters, but you can continue to manage EC2 nodes your way. As always, we're dedicated to providing you modularity and choice. And for more on EKS and Fargate, make sure you attend Massimo's sessions later today. What other ways do customers ask us for more options and control? They tell us their way of running Kubernetes is OpenShift. We announced this a few weeks ago, but I wanted to highlight it here again. Again, this has the things you would expect: self-service, native integrations, joint support. More on this in the near future. Stay tuned. Customers not only want to run Kubernetes how they want to, whether that be EKS or OpenShift or self-managed, they want to run Kubernetes all the places and ways AWS provides, and there are 3 significant options for you to be aware of in addition to the global region availability you get with EKS. Outposts, local zones, wavelength. Regardless of where and how you want to run Kubernetes, we have a solution to make your experience more easy and efficient. Outposts gives you AWS hardware, infrastructure, services, APIs, tools to run your applications on premises and in the cloud for a hybrid experience. Outposts can handle your workloads that require low latency access to on-premises systems, local data processing, local storage. AWS Compute Storage Database and other services run locally on Outposts, and this includes Kubernetes on AWS offerings. Wavelength is an infrastructure optimized for mobile edge compute applications. It's ideal when you need to deploy high-performance applications that can be accessed by mobile end users and require single-digit millisecond latency. Again, you can run your EKS or self-managed Kubernetes workloads there. Finally, local zones, a new type of deployment that places AWS Compute Storage and other services closer to large populations, industry, and IT centers where no AWS region exists today. With local zones, you can deploy workloads closer to your end users. Local zones currently supports EKS and Kubernetes. Each one of these is a deep offering in its own right, and you can find some more information at these links. Help us run our stateful apps on Kubernetes. Kubernetes has had support for stateful applications for a long time now, with features like stateful sets and persistent volumes. And this is no accident. As companies containerize more of their applications, they find these applications require persistent storage, either because those applications are long running and need to persist state, or because the application wants to scale out around a shared data set. For example, developer tools like Jira or content management systems like WordPress and Drupal use persistent storage to achieve high availability with an active standby model, often across AWS AZs. Machine learning customers often use EFS to store shared data sets and data scientist home directories, allowing them to train models in parallel across multiple containers or access data from individual science notebooks. Many customers are migrating existing applications into containers to lower compute costs, scale easier, achieve higher availability, take advantage of auto repair capabilities that you get with Kubernetes. EFS has integrations with ECS, EKS, ECS, Fargate, and Lambda. And I'm very happy to announce that we are adding EKS Fargate to the long list of service integrations available with EFS. Check out Will's talk today for more. Help us improve performance and save money running Kubernetes. Across AWS, we're dedicated to helping you spend your budget as efficiently as possible. Graviton 2 instances are one of the significant innovations across AWS that have helped our customers work more efficiently with lower cost and higher performance. 20% lower cost, 40% higher performance. We have different versions: general purpose, compute optimized, memory optimized. The Graviton 2 instances are one of the significant innovations that across AWS helps our customers work more efficiently with lower cost and higher performance. And I'm pleased to announce EKS GA support for Graviton 2, including managed node group support. Check out the session later today. Also, thanks to the ECR team for supporting this launch. And I'm not yet done with ECR because we're announcing Helm chart support rolling out today. This starts rolling out globally this week. You can check it out in the Singapore region today, and available everywhere ECR is in the next week or so as that rolls out. You can store and pull your chart and other OCI artifacts like OPA bundles. This is exciting. Okay, so let's talk about GitOps. Tip of the hat to Weaveworks. Customers say they're refining their DevOps practices. They ask us to make it easier to practice GitOps on AWS. So let me say just a little bit more about GitOps before we talk about some things we're doing there. GitOps is a proper subset of DevOps, combining several practices: declarative goal states, comprehensive versioning of desired goal states in Git or another source control system, and then automatic application of the approved changes by automation by the robots, which can be done by humans or automatically. There's a reason you hear GitOps and Kubernetes discussed together a lot. That's Kubernetes was built for this. It supports many of these practices directly. There are also some additional tools that are becoming standard on Kubernetes systems, notably Flux, which is being used in many GitOps Kubernetes deployments, and we recommend it. And we're really excited to see Flux v2 coming along. And a quick pointer here to a session tomorrow. I'd suggest this if you're interested more. All right, so to pull this together, I find the mental model of the Git operational firewall, the immutability firewall, is very helpful. I also find the phrase CI/CD to be a bit dangerous. Many teams practice CI, many fewer practice CD. CD is hard. This model makes the strong distinction between CI as dev practice and continuous deployment as an operations practice, and proposes an operational model for how to connect them in a safe and auditable way. To help our customers adopt this operating model on AWS with Kubernetes, I am really pleased to announce the next step in supporting GitOps on AWS. ACK, AWS Controllers for Kubernetes, provides declarative management of application dependencies using a robot controller to converge state of application dependencies on AWS services. AWS Controllers for Kubernetes will have developer previews of S3, ECR, SNS, and SQS in the next few days, with DynamoDB and API Gateway v2 controllers out shortly after that, and much more to come following those. ACK is open source. If you want to contribute, you'll be welcome. Join JPipe session later today. I believe that's right after Nate's roadmap session. Also, if this topic is of interest to you, check out the session on CDKs later today as well. What's on your roadmap? This is a very popular question. We get asked all the time. You may be familiar with our roadmap approach here, but in case you aren't, just a reminder, it's on GitHub. We don't put everything here. Most things we do, we're careful about publishing dates because security, stability, and scale are always our priorities. Our teams monitor and respond to this roadmap. It's become one of the key places we monitor for feedback from our customers. The feedback you provide here directly impacts our roadmap prioritization. Don't forget to stay tuned for Nate Tabor's roadmap session up next, as has become our tradition on Container Day. All right, so I'm sure you're asking, what else do you have for me on Container Day? So here's a quick look at the different services and technologies. We'll cover the rest of the day. We have quite a packed schedule. We'll be covering open source projects, launches, product demos, and I want to spend a minute highlighting the talks for services and projects I didn't spend time on during my opening remarks. Service meshes and Kubernetes are besties. If you're interested in our service mesh offering, make sure you attend Shuba's talk. Machine learning is one of the largest technical use cases we see on EKS. If you're interested on this, make sure you attend Mike's talk on Inferentia. Bottle Rocket is our open source container host OS. I can't wait for this to become GA for EKS. Get more on this during Justin's talk. Observability is a critical part of operations best practice. Kubernetes customers ask us about Prometheus all the time, so check out Sudeep's presentation. CSI benchmarks come up a lot. If that's of interest, go to Pavin's update. And just a reminder, if you need to miss any of the sessions today, note they will be available on Twitch to view on demand. Thanks to the containers from the Couch crew and Brent for running our live Q&A today. If you haven't joined them live for their weekly event, I highly recommend you join them sometime. And with that, next up, Nate's talk. Hope to chat with you at our virtual booth, and goodbye for now. Thanks.